Hello everyone, my name is Elena and welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you how I make my Gumpaste roses. Alright, for that you need red fondant, or better if you have red Gumpaste. And you will need a wire. Again, you can find it on the floral department wire. I like my wires, the ones that covered in paper. I like them better. So those you will have to find at cake supply stores. So you need wire number 20 and number 24. Then you will need 5-in-1 rose petal cutter, a board, that's optional, but then you will have to, and you will need a sponge, like a foam sponge. Mine is double-sided, and we will work our petals on this little sponge. Okay, so first thing first, you need to make a rose cone. A rose cone, it's basically what it is, a rose cone, and this will be our base for our flower. I use them today styrofoam cones you can buy. I like to use them because they easy to use, they very lightweight. Or you can make this about 3-4 days ahead, and you can make that out of fondant, and you put it on the wire, let it dry very hard. So if you pull on it, so you can take it off, but it will make it rose very heavy because you already have this much gum paste on it, plus you will put your petals on it, so by the time you're done it will be very heavy. So I like use styrofoam cones because all you need to do is just make a little hook at the end of your wire and get the glue gun and just stick it in and you're good to go. So I really like that, it's very fast. All right, so get your gum paste, go ahead and knead it nicely and roll it up pretty thin, but thin enough that you can work with it so it wouldn't tear on you. Later on, when you get the hang of it and you kind of know what you're doing, you can figure it out what thickness works for you and how thin you can really go. But let's start with something safe. We'll just do baby steps. Okay, so we're gonna do 4 cutters of this, so I need 4 layers. So go ahead and cut out 1, 2, go carefully unpeel it off your board. Second one. Okay, kind of lay it out. Let's cut 2 more. If your gum paste or fondant sticks to your board a lot, you can use your cornstarch, kind of dust it a little bit. This is cornstarch in a little stocking. And you can just do this. Kind of handy tool.
Alright, so go ahead and roll it out again. So that's pretty thin.
Now, take a rolling pin or any other tool. You can use this. There's another one's ball tool, them call them. It's like a little pan with a little metal ball at the end. Those work good, but I just use that. So what you do is you having your petals on a sponge, and you run the end of your rolling pin, the one that round up, halfway on a sponge and halfway on a petal. So what will happen is you will thin it out the edge, and it will frill them a little bit. See? So if you can do it in one move, if you can't, don't worry about it. Just do several like I'm doing and see how it does. It just frills it a little bit. So that's what we're looking for. And if you look up on it, see what it's the edges, kind of nice and thin. And it's kind of frilly. So go ahead, do like that and work all your 4 layers. Okay, so here we go. Alrighty. Now I'm doing this out of fondant right now. I don't have red gum paste on hand, and I was too lazy to make some. So as usual, so I'm just doing the fondant. Fondant's softer than gum paste, so it doesn't stretch as easy. So a few petals I have stretched thinner than the rest, but I'm not worried about it, and you're not gonna see this, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So go ahead, kind of eyeball your petals, and let's grade them from the not so good to the best ones. So I will go like this, my not so good, that's a little better, and that's the best one. So that's the order I'm gonna assemble my petals. And you will see why I'm doing that. It's a little cheating, but hey, again, that's my way, that's how I do things, and it works for me, so hopefully they will work for you, and we can make nice pretty rose without worrying and stressing about it, okay? Okay, so now, so this will be our first. On a second one, we're gonna do, see we have the frilly petals and 2 not so frilly. So on the not so frilly, now take a toothpick and you put it on the edge of the petal like this, a little on an angle. Hold your finger, roll the toothpick in, and try to roll part of the petal with it, like so. And take the toothpick out. See, the little stays kind of curled. Now do the same thing with the opposite side. So you take on an angle now, kind of like this, and roll it in, like so. And now let's do this one, the opposite of it. Do the same thing. And roll it in, okay? And this one, the other side, roll it in, okay? So first one, we're not doing anything. Second one, we take the less frilly petals and we do 1 and 1 straight across. So we have 2 petals, nothing, 1 curled, nothing, and curled, okay? Now, 2 other layers, we curl them all, okay? Okay. Now turn each one upside down. So this is our back side. And this will be our face side. Okay. Now you will need again glass with just a little water, little brush. So take your brush and rub the very first layer we're gonna do. So rub your middle and each petal top to bottom. Okay. Second one, middle, and each petal on the edges only, on the sides. Like that, all the way to the top. Third one, a middle, and each petal on the sides halfway. Like that. And the last one, the middle, and maybe a third way on the sides. Okay? Now take your brush again, rub your cone all over, kind of moisten it. Because it's this one on styrofoam, so you can't really make it wet, but you can moisten it a little bit, so like a little moisture will be here and there, just to help us out a little bit. Okay, now I can do it all on my hand. If you struggle, you can always take like a piece of napkin. For here, I have this little small piece of paper towel. I just fold it in half. Okay, so take your first layer and lay on it like so. Then take your cone and go ahead, stick right through it in the middle. Come on, napkin. Okay, and then pull from underneath and kind of push it in so it sits nice and tight. Now what you do, it's kind of rule of every other one. So you start with one petal, doesn't matter which one on this one, and you're gonna bring to the top, fold it, and fold this one over it. And make sure it's nice and tight. And if you look from above it, make sure you don't see the styrofoam through. Okay, we don't want to see the styrofoam. So that was one. So remember the rule, every other one. So one, skip one, other one. Okay, so turn your napkin. So skip one, other one. So take this petal now and you do the same thing. You bring to the top, fold it over on this side, run your fingers, fold it to the back. Okay, see how it looks from the top? Okay, now again every other one. So now skip this one, do next one, do the same thing, bring it to the top, fold one side, run your fingers over, push other side. So you have that. Okay, and then what's left, just do the same. This side, and the last one, bring it up and just wrap it over. And this is what we got. Now take this out of the napkin. Put now second one on. Okay. Poke your flowers through it. Come on. Okay. Now what we do, see how on this side we left there's petal and there's space? So that space, let's go and face it one of the petals, like that. And start from this side. So again, rule of every other one. One goes up. And this one we only did sides, not the middle. So when you bring the petal, so the middle doesn't stick only sides will stick, so we'll just attach the petals, but the middle will start sticking out a little bit. Okay, skip one, do other one, skip one, do another one, and what's left, fold it like so. Okay, now third layer. The same thing. Come on. Only this one, because it's already getting so big, go ahead and turn it upside down like this. Take your napkin off and just kind of mush it like that. And that's what it looks like. Okay, and the last one, put it in a napkin. See, hold your petals so they don't flop up. Still hold it tight. So again, poke your layers through. Come on. Oops. Wow. Goodness, that's a strong napkin. All right. So this last one, what we're gonna do, again, see our petal and petal. So this one be between these two, okay? So when you get your napkin up, see petal goes between the petals, okay? And do the same, upside down, napkin off, mush it, hold your petals up, and look how pretty we got. Yeah, all right. Now what I like to do, take a little, and you can get your napkin, tear up like on the little pieces. And when you turn your rose up, when you turn the rose upside down, when you look up on it, the petals kind of go all down. So what you do, you put tissue under them so they stay up. So you can do tissue, or I have a little thin sponge cutouts I like to use. I think I'm good. So when you look at it, see, that's all my foam. Like so. Okay, so you hold it upside down, bend your wire, and I like to use, I believe this is like a kitchen drying rack, and you just hang over it like so, and just let it dry. At least a day or two, depends on the weather, and depends on how thick you did your petals, and that will be a rose. Now for my project, I need to go a little farther. I need to make even larger petals than this. Well, I don't really have cutter, and I need it like really big. So what I'm gonna do, I got this oval cutters. I have this Ateco set. So I figured, so this was my original cutter. So I'm gonna do like this, so that will make a little bigger rose. And the next size I will do even bigger. So it'll be like this. And I'm gonna do them on wires individually, and then I'm just gonna put them together after it all dries, okay? So because I'm gonna use wire, so for that, this fancy board, that's where it comes really handy. On the other side, it has little grooves. Can you see it? Here we go. It has grooves, so when you roll your paste over the grooves, it creates a little spot where you can stick your wire in. I'll show you in a minute.
Alright, so I'm going to have to play a little bit with the wires and the cutters here. So I'm going to have to modify. Alright, so for this, go ahead and roll in a sausage.
Alright, place over grooves kind of in the middle. Push it down so it doesn't go anywhere. You can put cornstarch and go ahead and roll over the grooves your paste. Okay, and you need it big enough, make sure your cutter fits. See, so that's not enough. So let's do it bigger. Yep. All right. Now carefully peel it off. Turn it the other way. See how we got little grooves on it? See it? There we go. So now you place your cutter over each groove. So the groove goes right in the middle of it. Go ahead, cut it out.
So that's 5. And when I go the large size, I like to do a little extra, just make sure if something breaks, make sure I have a little extras, so I don't need to worry about it. So let's do a couple more.
And because it's modified petal, let's go ahead and cut the corner off. So it will look more like a rose petal rather than something else. Okay. Now I already pre-cut my wires. I need about enough for me to work with it and about halfway go in the petal. So go ahead and wet your wire in the water and start at the base of your petal, twisting motion and kind of pushing it forward. Go ahead, thread it in. Here we go. So my wire stops about here and I still have all this for me. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And the same way like we did with rose petals, go ahead, take your end of your rolling pin, go ahead, thin out the edges of your petals, like so. Then what I'm gonna do, we're gonna lay them dry. And I use, just don't laugh, I found at the grocery store, this is lining. In the produce department, they're getting boxes with apples or oranges. So this is lining for where the fruit sits, so they don't get bruised up, I guess. So I just walked up and just asked them if I can have it, and they say sure. So I grabbed a bunch, and it works perfect. So I have this, and as you can see, it's a little, the shape is just right for the petals. So take your petal, and of course this is the back side where we see the vein, flip it on the face, and lay right in it. And adjust if you need it. So, and it gives this a little curled up shape, just enough for me, for the petals. I love it, like you don't really need to do much. So just take your petals, face up, like so. There we go. Okay, now let's do the same way with a little bigger petals, the second size up. So this is much bigger one, and as you can see, if I lay it once, I cannot do the next one. So I'm gonna have to do every other one like that. All right, so roll your paste or fondant, whatever you want to use. The thing, if you use fondant, it will dry a little longer than the gum paste. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind. So make sure you have plenty of time for it to dry. I will start a week before you need them, just make sure. Okay. Check your size. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. Turn it over. Start from the edge. One.
Two. Three. Okay, do it one more time. I'm going to cut a little bit off again, make it more petally shape. See, so if you don't really have color that you need, you can always be creative and come up with something from the colors you already have. So don't be scared. Okay. And the same thing, so get your wires, dip a little water, and thread it in. Again, about the third way.
That's why I like to use paper wires, because when you dip it in water, it kind of gets wet a little bit, the paper. And when it dries inside, the paper, I feel like grabs onto fondant. Versus if you take the wires like from the hobby stores, they covered in cloth. And it seems to, wherever you do, it's always on the way, it's always unravels, and just acts funky. Just, I never liked that. It just makes it way hard to work with. But the paper one, that's my favorite. All right, almost. Okay. And go ahead and thin it out and do the same what we did with the other petals. So take your foam and put them all in there. And let's let it dry overnight. Okay, so it's been a couple days since we made our rose. This is what it looks like. It still has little foams in there, so let's go ahead and take it out. There you go. Okay. And then my larger petals, all I do just, it looks like this. So you just, this is our face, so it cups. So you just bend your wire like this, so when we come to our rose, it goes out. I'm gonna take floral tape, let's stretch it. Start at your base of the rose, push it with your finger, and let's go ahead and wrap it once. Okay, now put your petals one by one right under it, so it looks like that. Go back with your tape, add petal, wrap around, add another, wrap around, one more. Okay, and you just keep adding until it goes all the way around. And you can move them carefully because they are on wires. So you can adjust. There we go. And then I'll make it extra large. So remember we made another set of petals. So I'm going to do the same thing with the second largest. See? So if I put it to it, see they come out even farther. So the same way, go with your tape, wrap around, add another, wrap around. Okay, so this is our rose. Okay, so this is the final cake with my rose on top. Can you guess the theme? Go ahead, leave me a comment. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you had fun and we'll see you next time. Bye!